Hello, my name is Hisham Mukhtar. This is homework 4. Unity ID is HMUKHTA. So here we have the monitoring workshop. I'll start here with the tasks. So I'm going to start the dashboard server right here. So we refresh this. So here's the dashboard. So just from the dashboard alone, you could see it's clear that I've already done all the task asks. Here's a CPU coverage, here's a memory coverage and percentage, and here's the latency and the HTTP request status codes. And as you can see in here, it might be kind of going fast, but there's a score next to each of the servers with a 4 right now. It's a health score of 4, which is good. I'll show task 1, and then I'll send information from my computer to show that that's working. And then I'll just go into the code individually and show you where I made the code changes. So here we can see that it did the memory and then the CPU for my computer, which shows up right here. There's no latency or HTTP request numbers because of the fact that it's not hitting an endpoint or anything. So I'll stop that. And right now it has a score of, if it's a red, probably score 0. There you go. Sometimes it gets stuck. Score of 0. It loses points because it's no latency, no HTTP requests, and it's out of range for the CPU and memory percentages I added in. So here in the code we can see for task 1, the memory load. I'm just using whatever code that was given to us to find out the percentage of memory used from the total memory and the free memory, and I return that as a percentage. For the CPU, again, given what we were given this command, and then returning the current load returns the current CPU percentage. And then for task 2, we're in the index.js metric folder right here. We return the status code, and then we return the latency by taking the ending time of the request and subtracting this now variable, which is the start of the request. And then here we're in task 3. The way I set up the health score is that if it's within these, if it meets one of these if statements correctly, it'll increase the score by 1. So if the status code is 200, give it +1. If the latency is between 0 and 50, give it +1. If the CPU is less than or equal to 35% usage, then give it +1. And if the memory load is less than or equal to 75%, give it +1. And since this health update method is called every time there's a ping, it'll start at 0. And if it doesn't pass any of these, it'll get a score 0. For example, like my computer information. And now for task 4. I'll show the siege how it works. I'll take the command from here. And since I'm on Windows, I had to create siege on my computer or in the actual VM. Now I'll take the IP address that it has here in the ip.txt file, take out localhost, bring this over, show the dashboard, and I hit enter, it just starts sending a siege out. And if we look at the thing here, before it was all green, like dark green, or it was green saying it was, all 4 for the health score. And then if we go to the server here, we can see the numbers changing between 3 and 2, and we can see the colors changing here as well. Alpine 1 is yellow, meaning that it's a score of 2. Hopefully this siege will give it a timeout request for one of the servers, which it didn't, so we can run it again. I can do like a different one with work now. You can hear, see that it's gonna change soon. Hopefully. And we can see here that it timed out. So it was just overloaded and now one of the servers timed out. That was task 4. And now for task 5, I added 2 metrics. The current CPU speed, and just the total RAM for each server. In the agent file, I added right here, I labeled it as task 5 using the sysinformation method variable. I just got the current CPU speed and I got the total memory, and then I just converted it into gigabytes and I just rounded it down so that it's just the whole number in a way that we can see it. So here's where I get the numbers, return them, and then here's where I add it to the payload. In the metrics, again, you go up here, task 5. Here's where the servers actually get the information. And I didn't factor in these into the score because it doesn't really have anything to do with the health of the server. It was just information for someone to just look at if they needed to know it real quick. So here we can see like my computer has total 8 gigs of RAM, whereas these servers only have 1 gig, and they're all running at 3.3 gigahertz because it's obviously on my computer, which is currently running at 3.3 gigahertz. And I also updated it in the HTML file right here for CPU speed in gigahertz, total RAM, and then here's where it's pulling the actual methods, or here's where it's pulling the actual numbers to populate the dashboard. So that was me showing all 5 of the tasks with the code and the dashboard. Thank you.